So today I'm going to go over what's in Garvey's food bag on any typical given occasion. So for the most part, the dry hard food is what makes up the bulk of his diet. Now to get him to eat that, I usually have to mix it with some kind of soft food. So in this case, I have several examples here. A lot of times you can find these pouches at Dollar General or the Family Dollar. Walmart has them. They're not too hard to find, but if I can't find them, I'll go ahead and get a can. And usually I want to get something that is in gravy. That way it mixes well with his hard food and kind of keeps him interested. And I think that's the key, at least in Garvey's case, to getting him to eat, is to keep his meals a little different. I mean, dry food over and over would get boring. I mean, let's face it, if you had to eat Cheerios every single day for the rest of your life, you'd get bored with that too. You would be finding ways to change the flavor up a little bit, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. I can always add chicken. I usually carry some kind of chicken with me to eat myself, so I can always supplement his meals with that. These tiny little things, it's just a change up is all it is. It's a different kind of soft food. I can give that to him as a snack during the day if we're stopped for lunch. Just a little bit, just something a little bit different so he doesn't get bored. The cup of soup is the same way. This is chicken noodle. A lot of times I'll heat up a little bit of that and add it to his dry food to make it less boring. Or on a cold morning, I might just want to heat up his food so it warms him up. And over here I have some instant potato flakes in that package right there. I can do all kinds of stuff like that, just like I can with my own meals. I can mix potatoes in with this food here. I can actually just add hot water to that food if I want to. A bunch of different combinations. Anyway, you just get creative with it, kind of like you do with your own food bag. Pumpkin seeds, that's something that Butterfly got Garvey started on last November when we were hiking. He managed to yogi some of those off of her, and he has been a big fan of them ever since. And that's just a different kind of treat, something to feed him on the trail, to keep him interested in eating, and they're good for him as well. So that is what he has in his food bag at this particular moment. We're going to mix something up right here using these ingredients and give Garvey a little bit of dinner. I'll be right back. So I usually start with the wet food on the bottom. That way if I put dry food on top, he has to go through the dry food to get to the wet food. So I usually won't overload it, just a couple of handfuls of the dry food on top. And sometimes I'll mix it up, sometimes I won't. A lot of times if I don't mix it up, he'll take the crunchies and put them aside and just eat the wet food. So I think mixing it up with the gravy sort of inspires him to eat the crunchies as well. So I have the bottom of a bag of potato flakes. I'm going to add those on top, and then I'm going to add just a little bit of warm water and stir it up. Not too much, don't want to overdo it. And most of the time I'll just grab a twig to stir with, but in this case I have a spoon, so I'm going to use it. I'll just add water as needed so that it doesn't turn out too soupy. Okay, so there it is. Mashed potatoes, gravy, little bits of beef, and some of his crunchy food. And we'll see if he likes it. Well, I'd say that was a pretty successful meal. Pretty much polished everything off. And if he hadn't, what I would have done was probably just put this Ziploc bag around the dish and stuck it in his backpack. That way it's still in his dish for later on when he actually was hungry. So as far as water goes, I never force Garvey to drink. I'll always offer him water, and because of that, sometimes I find it's better to just pour him little bits of water at a time, and if he continues to drink all of the water in the dish, I will continue to pour it until he doesn't want to drink anymore. Many times I've poured him a full dish of water and he just wasn't interested in drinking whatsoever. Also, I will let him drink on the trail whenever he finds a water source. I don't let him drink from springs, anything where hikers may be dipping out of for their own containers. I do go down to a spring. I will tie him up. Usually I'll just put him on his leash and tie his leash to a tree so I don't have to be concerned with what he's doing while I'm filling up our water.